Yeah, of course, man. No problem. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. No, you're. It's just a. It's a TikTok thing. You're good, brother. No, no, no. No, 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 no. No. You're good, brother. It's TikTok just letting me know to come back to the screen. That's it. No worries, man. Yeah, if you don't mind, like just telling me a little bit about your background. Like just like your religion. And by the way, like regarding that comment, as Muslims, we are permitted to make dua, according to most of our scholars, to people who aren't guided. Um, we have an authentic hadith where the Prophet says to non-believers, um, "Oh Allah." Right. And just in general, right? Like we have authentic hadith where the Prophet asks for them to be guided. Oh, so you're Muslim. Yes. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. 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 For sure. For sure.
generation born in America in my family. I don't know if that you're the same, but I'm the oldest, first begotten son in my family too. So in Korean culture, that's a lot of responsibility and obligation
Some
um,
heavyweight, yeah.
on the first one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And in a
the
lot of other cultures too. I'm sure maybe in Bosnian, in American culture, it's not like that at all. But
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I don't want to throw anybody under the bus.
No, you're good.
Um,
I'm the youngest in the
my
family.
Oh, you are okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a different dynamic. I have a younger brother who has a different upbringing than I do. My brother got to do everything that I wanted to do that I didn't get to do. I don't know if that was your. How many siblings do you have?
I have four siblings.
You're the youngest of four boys?
No, I'm the
Or
only
is it
boy.
a mixture?
I'm the only boy.
You're the only boy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you are still the first forgotten son. You're like my father, where he was the first son after four daughters, and so he had to take care of his four older sisters and then his three younger siblings because he was the firstborn. And so his life in Korea was a very much tougher life than the life that he blessed me with by coming to America, working hard, attaining the American dream, and raising me the way that he did. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, I definitely understand like the culture and all that stuff that plays a factor into it.
And that
Yeah.
kind of separates us from like the Americans who are like maybe sixth generation, in of the family line. Like I believe that, and this is just my theory, and I believe that Allah knows best, but the more generations that just end up being in a certain region, like that beauty of that culture that family lineage brought with them to that land gets diluted. Does that make sense? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
when you say you're a proud Bosnian, I hope that for you that means like you are proud to just display the beauty that Bosnian culture. I'm not, and again, I'm not very familiar with what Bosnian culture would actually mean. Maybe you can answer that for me. But um, like I said, I just hope that you let me know. Like, what does it mean to be Bosnian? If
Well,
that's a fair question to start.
yeah, for sure. Look, for me being Bosnian, it's kind of like a description of who I am. I mean, I lost a lot of family.
No, I know I look like Asian, but I'm pretty stupid. But I'm not like that. That's like I know it's like that, but like you were born in Bosnia and then brought here as a baby, or you were born in America by Bosnian
No, I was
parents.
I was born in Bosnia during the Civil War. Um,
It was
uh,
in the Civil War.
yeah, yeah. So I
What year was that? I'm not familiar with that.
it started in 90 like 91 ish, 92, all the way to
You were
95.
born at that time.
Yeah, I was born in 1994, right before the fall of Srebrenica. Um, so I was like born in the heart of it. So it's basically where the genocide in Bosnia occurred.
I don't know any about this. I don't know how I
Yeah.
wasn't. Is this like the history that we aren't taught
Yeah, basically,
as
yeah.
American?
Yeah.
Okay, well then, please educate me on that. If anything, I would love to be educated on that. But if you want to just dive into whatever you do, I know that you know right now I'm not the Christian already, so I don't know if that already kind of throws
Well,
it off on what you try to do here with other channel guests and stuff.
I kind of want to focus on like why somebody nullified your Islam for you. Like, what was the topic of the conversation? Like, if you remember.
Okay, so it was Islamic Apex, right? And we
Yeah.
had a live going on that the background just says, "Give me one logical reason why you believe Jesus is God," or something along those lines.
Okay.
I don't know if you. It's a background that he's been using. I don't want to call it like as clickbait, but it seems to work. Like his audiences are like your numbers, where it's like in the hundreds,
Yeah.
But
MashaAllah.
um, he's much younger than you, but the same passion. Um, and so as I'm 43 years old, so I got like 20 years on you. Um, so not to say like I know more or anything like that, just stating facts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I look at, and maybe it's my culture, but I was raised by my parents to respect my elders and be my brother's
Right.
Cain unalived Abel because he was like, "What? Am I my brother's keeper?" No, Adam, you told me I'm the tiller of the land, which was his punishment,
Right.
right?
Right.
In the Bible, according to the Bible, the Quran, maybe I've gotten to that part. Like I said, I'm trying to read it start to finish. But maybe you grew up as a Muslim here in America then, or you were raised as a Christian by Muslims because they wanted you to fit in. Do you get what I'm trying to ask you?
Mm,
What's your background? What's your faith background?
I mean, I grew up like it's crazy. I was going through my Google Photos just yesterday actually, and
The timeline thing where they send it to you like here's your recap of the thing, or are you just actually kind of just going through it?
yeah, like the timeline cap. And there's a screenshot that I took like 13 years ago, and it's literally like a quote of the prophet saying, "A believer is not a believer if he goes to sleep on a full stomach knowing his neighbor is hungry." And for some reason, like that resonated with me, so I screenshotted it. But I didn't grow up in like this super religious household where, we were praying 5 times a day, where I was going to the mosque on Fridays. In fact, I was going to church on Sundays because I played for a church called St. Paul's. I played basketball for St. Paul's. And it was like part of uh, in order to practice, you had to attend the church service in the morning. And my problem was I used to sleep through it. Because I kind of felt like
Sleep through the church service or sleep through practice?
no, I used to sleep through the sermon.
So,
Um,
when you were at the service, like you don't just sleep in class,
yeah, so
you got like cut for playing basketball or something like that.
well, that's the interesting thing. I have like a bunch of like trophies and certificates that I won. So I live in a very African. I grew up in a very African American dominated
Did you
like.
grow up in New York? You lived in
Yeah,
New York
yeah,
for a
yeah,
long time. Okay, so
yeah,
you're an East Coast kid, which is
yeah,
real. East Coast people. I'm from Colorado, mid. So I look at West Coast LA kids as like too fake. New York is like very real. You know what?
well, the
But
the thing with me is I was literally one of three white kids in the entire school. Like,
so you were considered white, Caucasian. Like you check Caucasian, or do you check like is Bosnian like Caucasian, or
yeah, I would
Roma?
check Caucasian, but like literally,
Would you check other? Other?
sometimes I would check like other. When I got older, I started checking other, but like when I was younger, I would check like Caucasian,
Okay.
right? Yes, so
You weren't black, right?
right,
Nor Pacific Islander. You know what
right.
I checked?
Uh, I'm guessing other.
No, as a kid going through public school, elementary up to middle school, I was checking Native American because my father told me, "You're born in America. Don't let anybody tell you you're not a native-born American." And so I would just innocently check this box, and then finally my teachers are like, "Are you Native American?" And I was just like, "I mean, I was born here." And they're like, "Oh, Charles," like they were very kind about me because I English was my second language, and I didn't start learning it until I got into public school.
Gotcha.
So I had to take like ESL, all this extra school just to catch up. So my teachers had a very invested compassion for me. So when they finally sat me down and they were like, "Charles, why are you checking this box when we know you're this box?" But they asked me to explain it. And when I explained it, they were like, "Oh, that's very adorable, but you're supposed to check this box." But they didn't
Gotcha.
tell me I was wrong, right? They're like, "You're absolutely right. You are a Native American, but that's not what this question is asking. You're supposed to check this box." And
Gotcha.
so at that age, I was just like, "What? You're telling me something different than what I've been taught by my father." Like
Gotcha.
Jesus being like, "My father taught me this." So I don't know. I told my dad like I got in trouble because I don't know, I was checking the wrong box. And my dad was just like, "Oh yeah, are you that stupid, son? You're not supposed to check that box." I was like, "I don't know what to do, Dad." So
Gotcha.
my childhood, it was very hard for me to feel like I fit in this black, white, American. You know what I'm saying?
Community. Yeah.
Like where does the yellow, where does the brown people
Right.
fit in this black white? And then now we have the BLM chants where it's like, okay, now we figure out who's on whose side. And I
Right.
found out for some reason the Asians are on the MAGA Republican side where they're like, they're trying to take John
Oh man.
So it's very interesting that you check the Caucasian box, but like you said, you clarified that for me. So
Yeah.
that's a very good bit of background information that really gives me a new perspective on
Yeah.
just to who you are and why you are you. So,
So
alhamdulillah, is that what I was saying, or shukran?
yeah, alhamdulillah is fine. So did you take your shahada on TikTok? And if so, do you remember who it was with?
Absolutely. I even have it on. I'm somebody who records and documents everything
Okay.
just for my own. Um, somebody called it quality assurance purposes. It's like somebody's like, why do you record people? And somebody was like, for quality assurance purposes. I was like, beautiful. I'm
Nice.
gonna use that.
Okay.
So
So do you remember who it was?
it was logos. You know logos.
Oh my God.
I knew that you would do this. Well, you know, like tread softly with this. I know that you two have your thing going on long before I became a Reaper, but I'm hopefully here to maybe build a bridge between you two because as a chaplain, because I am an actual chaplain, I'm a non-commissioned army chaplain for so. But I used to do stand-up comedy, so that's why I spell chaplain with this way to pay homage to Charlie Chaplin. I'm Chaplain Charlie. I used to do stand-up comedy, and my hero was Charlie Chaplin. Make sense?
Okay, I know who Charlie Chaplin is. Yeah. So okay.
You do. But do you know who Chaplain Charlie is, centrally?
Chaplin Charlie. I mean, yeah, I get it now. So
Okay.
okay, so I kind of want to get to like the crux of what happened, right? Because look,
With logos?
well, here's what I'm gonna say regarding logos, and I will openly say it. I don't have a problem, and I rarely ever, I genuinely rarely ever say this about anyone, but logos is not a Muslim. Lo, t- Anyone respectfully, like with all due respect, anyone who affirms Islam for logos is cuckoo for cocoa puffs. The guy has literally said some of the craziest stuff about Islam. Um, and come to find out, he was a undercover Christian for this entire time. So I think
What do you
that
mean by undercover Christian? That's the first time I've ever heard anybody
yes.
make
So
that accusation on any specific place. Would you mind clarifying that for me? Like I
yeah,
said, he's somebody who I have a very close connection. So I'm not trying to take sides. I want to be a very fair mediator here.
yeah. I
So
mean, I don't think there's really like anything to mediate respectfully again, because this is an individual who he takes the Bible and he interprets the Bible how he wants it, and then he takes that and then he puts his understanding of his like his understanding of the Bible. He like tries to shoehorn it into the Islamic belief, and it just he's kind of creating a Islam that nobody agrees with.
a beta is that the word for it? Just trying to
He's an innovator for sure, 100%. Yes, 100%. So when you say you
teach is like you shouldn't try to be an innovator, right? Like
right,
some
so when you say you accepted Islam with him, I've seen people accept Islam with logos in the past, and it's very wishy washy. He's more of the guy that's, hey, let me get 10 people to accept Islam today, no matter what it takes.
the shahada,
Right,
like just like doing shahadas and stuff like that. Okay.
right. But he's
So
doing.
you kind of see him as like the school call him like shahada hunter, I believe is like the term for it. Like I don't mean that in any kind of disrespect. These are just the terms I hear everybody out in this sea of TikTok like just throwing out
Well,
mindless.
here's the thing, right? You have, for example, right, and I really don't like doing this, but I kind of have to. So you have someone like Logos, and then you have someone like Islamic Apex, right? Islamic Apex, I affirm Islam for him all day. The guy is on the right Aqidah, he's on the right path, he's on the haq, right? whereas Logos doesn't really know what he's talking about, and you kind of have like two opposing like different individuals. So when you accepted Islam with Logos, what was the pitch that he gave you, and what was the thing that made Islamic Apex say, "Hey, your shahada is void"? Like I want to know what happened, like how that happened.
Um, I mean, with all honesty, like I said, I have to like record a bunch of stuff just because I have a terrible memory. You know, like I'm at that senior moment time. I can't remember specifically what ended up leading to the apex with saying my shahada was null and void. I'm assuming it's the same thing that led you to just automatically start by telling me that anybody who accepts his Islam is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. This is where it's just like, is that kind of what you're saying? I'm cuckoo for
Mm,
Cocoa Puffs because I took my shahada through him. Like, are you gonna automatically put me in that group,
no.
or are you gonna give me a chance to kind of show you I'm my own person and then let you put me in whatever box you
Yeah.
decide to put me?
Yes. So what I'm saying is, Logos himself is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? I'm not saying.
Because his perspective and understanding and teachings do not align with you and again, like you said, Apex, who you said in the comparison is more in alignment with your path that you see as the right path, right? Which is fair.
Well,
We all want to know, see our path as the one that's the right path.
I
We want to support people we feel are on our path, and when we see somebody on a different, completely maybe wild path, that is kind of, I don't want to say a threat or a fear or anything, but that's what kind of leaves this taste that says that you use to say he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I wouldn't say
By the way,
that
Central, who doesn't like Cocoa Puffs? You don't like Cocoa Puffs?
everyone
Fruity
likes Cocoa
Pebbles?
Puffs.
Are you a
Everyone
Fruity
likes them.
Pebble? Are you a Fruity Pebble?
Everyone likes Cocoa Puffs, man. But what I'm saying is, right?
So what are you saying when you say something like that, Central? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
So
as an older elder for you, I'm just like, Central, like you have a lot of confidence, but there are some things where you just say, and I'm just like, that is very arrogant. You know, like I am him, I am him. You know, like these mic drops. I'm like, wow, this guy is just like, I don't know if he's playing character or he's just kind of like passionate and just amped up. But I'm just like, wow, if this is what Muslim is, then that's what I was when I was watching you. And again, just to be honest, I don't mean to disrespect you, but that was the energy that I felt. That's why I said I'm on the fence here. It's just like I don't know, like Central. Like I look at everybody and I just try to respect everybody for what they do, you know, because as a
got you.
human being, we're just all human beings, you know,
So
regardless of any religion. We have to accept that we're all human beings and
right,
that we all deserve a level of respect.
right. Okay. So I want to correct something that you said. So regarding Logos, he's preaching a version of Islam that doesn't align with mainstream Islam, that doesn't align with the teachings of the Quran, that doesn't align with the teachings of the Prophet, that doesn't align with the companions of the Prophet. Logos is not nowhere near qualified to.
So if it was a spectrum, like he would be, you're like in the on the right side of the spectrum, or in the center of the spectrum, or on one end of the spectrum. Because logos is like the opposite
I,
side of the spectrum.
I'm on the spectrum of following the Quran and the Sunnah, right? And Logos doesn't even know what the Sunnah
That's
is.
a different religious lesson. I actually caught you. I saw that you were actually on like the Mahdi has appeared live
Yeah.
show. I believe it was yesterday. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
And I was like, oh wow, he's on there. Like I was actually excited, but right when I got on, you left.
Yeah.
And way after you left, they were just like, you know, it's that kind of person who you know, so they were, you know, just I don't know what the word is, but just kind of back talking
Yeah.
from
Backbiting. Yeah.
what
So
I
it's
don't know if you
a.
got dropped or if you left, but you know, like I was like, if this is what the Mahdi is gonna let them do, you know, like then I would look at that Mahdi as maybe he's not the Mahdi. But like I said, I try to be fair with everybody. I would love to hear your
Right.
what you thought, how long you were on that for. What do you think of his
Well,
like to you?
the thing,
You understand the question I'm asking?
yeah. So again, logos is an individual who makes up um, literally his own interpretation for the Quran, makes up his own interpretation for what Islam stands for.
You
Sure.
want to use the word makes up, or would you be comfortable saying he just does what he does based on his own understanding?
No, but yeah, but that's the problem.
Just to tame the words that you're using, just to make it more
Yeah, but
useful, but get the point across of what you're trying to say. I'm just trying to give you
sure.
some advice. Take it or leave it.
Sure, but that's the problem, right? Like for example, if you ask me about the meaning of a verse in the Quran, right? I'm not going to give you my opinion, right? I'm not going to give you my interpretation. I'm going to give you number 1 the interpretation from the prophet himself or from one of his companions or from someone within
From
eh,
hadith, right? Those are the only two sources that
right.
Muslims can revert back to.
No, we have scholars as well. We have scholars like later on in time.
Those have to be peer reviewed, and like it's a whole specific scientific process that Islam has in what's the word I'm looking for?
it, it,
Inculcated or
it's what we would call Orthodox Islam, mainstream Islam.
orthodox?
Yeah, it's mainstream.
Can you explain that for me?
Yeah, it's just mainstream Islam, right? Like what the Quran
Is that
is.
like saying Orthodox Christian, Orthodox Jew, or is it
Um,
just you're the very strict by the book, like by the law, like that kind of?
yeah, I mean, we literally
Because
like.
Christians would be like the more innovative type of the Hebrew sect. Does that make sense?
Right.
I'm
So
sorry for interrupting. So
no, you're it's okay. So as Muslims, as Sunni Muslims, right? We we
Sunni Muslim versus
yeah,
what's the other word?
Shia,
Shia.
yeah. So the Shias,
Your interpretation of the difference of that?
um, the the difference is honestly too much to unpack because I really want to get to like the logos and the other thing.
What's the crux of it?
Yeah.
I want to
So
get to the crux of it if we can.
yeah. So
The note of my problem. Let's see.
the last thing I'll say regarding logos is I'll say it in front of 275 people. He is not qualified to give give anyone shahadas because I've seen him do it in the past and I've seen this guy reject hadith qudsi, and hadith qudsi are literally the words of Allah. So if he's rejecting that, to me he's already completely way off. And then someone like the brother Islamic Apex, right? He is a Sunni Muslim. He is a Muslim who takes from the Quran, the Sunnah, the Salaf, and he is on the proper path of Islam, right? So,
To be fair, he was raised in that culture, correct? Where does he live? Does he live in the States or does he live
um,
across the pond?
he's in the States. I don't like
Okay.
wanna, but so there.
Yeah, okay, so thank you for that. But he was raised in an Islamic, like, right? He was introduced to the Quran first, and then probably dove into the Bible.
Right.
Whereas Logos was vice versa. He started with the Bible and then was left with like so much confusion that when he finally got into the Quran, that's when it made sense to him, and that's when he found the beauty of it, and that sparked the passion to do what he does. Now you said that it makes him disqualified to do shahadas,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
But
100%.
he does also dawah, just like you do dawah. Your name is Central Dawah. You know, would you say that he's not even qualified to do dawah either? Then
Yes.
is he
I
qualified, in your opinion, to do anything on behalf of Islam or anybody who calls himself Muslim or anything?
I'll
Is that what
go.
you're saying?
Yeah, I'll go as far as saying that Logos is not even qualified to speak on the Christian religion. And so, as someone who literally criticizes the Christian religion, I try to do it in a
intellectual way where I actually try to, represent their position properly, and he doesn't do that. So Logos is completely out of the picture. So I'd like to know if you could remember the conversation that you and Apex had where he told you that your shahada is null. It's not good. So what was that conversation, and what happened? What was the topic? What did you say?
I told you the topic. The background was just like give me a logical reason why what you Christians believe Jesus is God.
Okay.
But I already had taken my shahada at this time. But all he was asking was, give me a logical reason for why Christians believe in God. So like he called me disingenuous after I told him I did take my shahada. I didn't come up front with it. That was my fault. I'm a revert. So I didn't know that that was like the custom. Like you always have to greet your fellow Muslim brothers and sisters with walaikum salam or salam alaikum. And
Yeah.
I apologize for not doing that with you.
It's okay.
Please
It's okay.
forgive me for that.
No worries.
But like I said, and maybe it was because he's younger, so much younger than you and I, that his maturity level is just like, just like a kid. Like we're in high school, it's just like, oh, you're just whatever. So I'll let it slide for him on his behavior for that. But you keep asking me like, what was it that led him to me? I don't want to falsely or bear false witness against anybody. But I have that whole live. So Central, if you don't mind, I will DM you after I get off this live the link of that live, and you can go through it and you find out for yourself. And then hopefully we'll be able to come back up. So I don't mean to try to dodge that part of it.
Yeah, no problem.
I want to make sure I'm 100% representing everybody.
So did you go up and try to give a logical reason to why Jesus is God?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, so do you believe that Jesus is God?
In the logical explanation that I was giving, but I understand that the way that I'm explaining it, it can be very confusing to just like anybody's ears. It's a very seasoned ear and taste that can really pick up the flavor that I speak in and all that. Does that make sense? So
Yeah. Okay. So
I just don't think that Islamic Apex had a taste for the flavor that I have. My spirit is a very it's hit or miss.
now,
I'm sure with you, you're a love it or hate it kind of guy. So when you say that you feel that you represent Christianity, I would say that I would disagree with you on that. That I would call you the logos of that clique. In all fairness,
okay.
I'm not, so. If maybe you want to dive into that more, but
Well, did Logos tell you that it's okay to be a Muslim and still call Jesus God?
I mean, he doesn't tell me it's wrong or right, but he understands that as a revert, this is something I'm maybe struggling with. He uses the word like, "Hey, he's a revert, guys." Like we have to think of him as an infant. Like, did you automatically when you became a revert, like just immediately get everything? No, right? So he's somebody who I will say is like a bro. Like we as a man, I'm sure you have, like the brotherhood, right? So to me, he's like one of those brotherhoods where I've been attacked on lives even today by like members on his channel who have always attacked me. I don't want to throw out names, but I'm sure you know them too. But he was the only one who stood up for me and just said, he is a new revert. We have to show him like a level of patience and compassion. And I know he says some out there stuff, but he's a revert. Newborns say some weird things. And if you're a parent, you know that you have to be patient with your children. Now I know Central that you and I don't have children. We're not married, right?
Okay.
So we have a different
So
approach.
so I think I found the problem. Okay. So do you still believe or think that Jesus is God in any way, shape, or form?
Okay, let me tell you this. Are you familiar with 1 John 4:8?
1 John 4:8 doesn't ring a bell off the top of my head, but I can quickly pull it up.
Looking that up.
Sure.
I need to go get a drink of water, so forgive me. I'll be right back.
No worries. So I I think what's going on is Logos is someone who chases after shahadas, like like when someone is like, oh yeah, I believe that. Oh, you're a Muslim. You're a Muslim. Take the shahada, right? But there's like when you take the shahada, you're proclaiming something, right? Like you're professing something, and you're nullifying other things, right? So when you say, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah," you bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah, right? That's a nullifier. That nullifies any deity or anything being God other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Right. But in all fairness, that's specifically directed to the Trinitarians and stuff like that who have been going around. It's like Jesus is the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. These three essences in one, three persons. Like those people that were like, I'm like, are you listening to the crazy stuff you're saying? Like, if you think that makes sense, then
No, no, no.
what planet you're living in?
No, that's not.
No, 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 no.
The Shahada is not contingent to just the Trinitarians. It's to anybody. Zoroastrians, atheists.
Strictly applies to Trinitarians today. Would you disagree with that? Like,
Yes, I would disagree. It would apply to anything and anyone, right? Because you're.
I'm not refuting that. I'm just saying, in today's current time, in the time that we all are living in, Trinitarians are the ones who are guilty of this nullifier in the Shahada, correct or no?
No.
See you using this. This is like the like the script almost that a lot of these Muslim like influencers like yourself, where they call it dawah or they call it, Logos calls it like rehabilitation. Like he uses specific semantic where he's like, I'm not doing
Yeah.
whatever, I'm doing rehabilitation for these. It has this crazy acronym, but it's specifically targeting an audience that is like the Trinity, the Christians who are lost like that.
Well.
Like, were you raised Christian, or you just played basketball at that St. Paul church? And
Yeah.
that's your only affiliation to that.
Yeah, that would be my only affiliation. But the thing is, you could be speaking to an agnostic, right? And
Or an atheist, or atheist, or
anyone. And then when they say the shahada, right? They're denouncing any god as being any deity as being God, and they're proclaiming that the only deity, only God worthy of worship is Allah. So it's not exclusive to just the Trinitarians. It applies to everybody, right? So for Logos to say that, he's absolutely wrong. So I think the problem, I think I figured it out. I think, and if you want, you can correct me. I think that you in some way still believe that Jesus is God, and Logos is here telling you that it's okay to do that.
he's not. I'll correct you there. He's not the one who is what's the word? Enabling me to continue this route. This is something long before I met Logos and took my shahada that was my revelation. Did you find one?
Yes, I have it. Yep.
Do you mind reading it? Just that one verse. 1 John 4:8.
Yep. Anyone who does not love does not know God, because God is love.
So what do you think of that?
God is love.
Well, no, start it over. Anybody? Do you mind reading it again?
Yeah.
Read it again, this is like a big thing, and if I can get you to maybe come at least 50-50 with me on this, but this is where I lost Apex. I asked him to read this, and he was just like, okay, what? And I was just like, so by
So you're trying to make the argument that Jesus being love would make him God in a sense?
No, 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 not that Jesus being love, but in this specific verse, it says anybody who does not or does know God knows love because God is love, right? It constantly says, and it says even after that, anybody who abides in love abides in God because God's in love. Like it's repeated. Like I'm like, why are they constantly just repeating this? And then I
So
realized like there's an importance to this. Like this is the the hidden legend in a map. Like for me at least. So I see that clearly. You're not. You're gonna wrap your head around this, but
well, I just want to, and I think everyone here is also trying to figure out like, do you believe?
everybody in the comments. This is where everybody in the comments also started. Get this guy off. Drop this guy. We don't want to hear him anymore. And this is
Well,
where Apex is like, yeah, you're boring me, bro. I want to wrap this up. I'm gonna bring somebody else up. So that's also kind of how that vibe is.
well, I just need to like I need to understand, right, like exactly what's going on because I wasn't there for either situation. So in order for me to like give,
So then
you know,
let me just send you that vibe. I'm
well,
sorry to bring that back up.
no, it's fine. I just want to know, like, as of now, do you believe that Jesus is God in any way, shape, or form, in any sense?
Yes, in that shape or form in 1 John 4:8. That is
Okay.
the only logical argument that any Christian or any whatever would possibly scientifically, logically be able to present as a logical argument to explain why anybody would call Jesus God. So that was just like my attempt at just like, hey, I'm thinking outside the box, but thinking outside of the box, this was my bidda as a Christian, I guess. Because even Christians like looked at me like, oh, you're taking that like very like childishly. Like so I'm just like, okay, so I was like, okay.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, Central.
Okay.
Who is the father of Jesus Christ?
Who is the father of Jesus Christ? He does not have a father.
Okay, really? He does not have a father.
No.
No father at all.
No.
So Joseph the carpenter doesn't exist at all.
Joseph the carpenter exists, but he is not the father of Christ.
So what is his relationship?
At best, Joseph the carpenter is not even mentioned within our literature, so we would go based off of the.
Do you know why that is? Do you know why that is? That was something that I'm still trying to wrap my head around. Like, why is this? Like, because in the Bible, it's like, is this not the carpenter's son? In
Yeah.
the Quran, it's like, this is Mary's son.
Yeah.
This is like one of the parallels that I saw in these books where I was like, I wonder what I would have believed if I read the Quran first and then started with the Bible. Does that make sense? Like, I imagine that being a whole different experience.
Yeah. So Joseph is kind of not that important in the life of Christ from our perspective. The best I mean, I wouldn't even go far as saying that he is a father figure because the Quran or any of our authentic sources don't even say anything along those lines regarding Joseph the carpenter. But I understand why Apex said your shahada is no, because the key tenet of saying the shahada is denouncing any deity as being God and accepting the idea that there is only one God worthy of worship, whom is Allah, right? So I think you still, and I'm figuring this out as we're speaking a little more. And what you're doing is you're referring to the Bible to try to kind of merge both religions into one. And I understand now why Apex said what he said. So until you get,
Okay, okay.
yeah,
So to you, I'm like a Cruslow or something like that, right? Like I'm
well,
trying to become that, right?
I,
And Christians are like, is he one of those Cruslows? So if anything, I'm the one that actually brings Christians and Muslims together to attack me. Like, who the heck is this
Well, I wouldn't say Chrislam because I don't believe Chrislam is a thing. Um, but
But you know what that term is referring to, right? It's
right
the combination of.
now,
I ran for president last year, and everybody asked me, "What party are you in?" I said, "I'm not the left. I'm not the right. I represent the middle. That's the light." That was like my slogan.
but
Obviously, I didn't win.
what persuaded you into wanting to accept Islam to begin with?
I mean, I think that at this part, at where we're at right now, because you said that you think you understand now why Islam or Apex said what he did.
Yes,
I think that you think you do. I'm not gonna think. I'm not gonna say that you don't. But if you think that you do, I'm saying that I think that you think you know, but what you think you know isn't what I'm saying. If is that fair? So, I'm here. I'm patient here. And I like much respect, Central. I feel very relieved and very, like I just hope that I have your forgiveness for just, like I said, just being on the fence. And if anything, I said just out of my human nature, in the heat of the moment, I hope that you can forgive me for that because being here face to face with you, you have given me a whole different perspective of who you are.
for sure.
I know this about you. You're somebody who like mirrors people's energy, right? So if people
Sure.
come up to you with respect, you'll show that respect. But
Right.
if somebody starts getting out of line, that's when you'll start mirroring that, and then that's when you're like, I am him, right?
Right.
So trust me, as a comedian, I know what that feels like, that high, right?
Right.
But as a comedian, when you get to that most high level, like that's like one of the most dangerous places to be as a human being because you think you can do anything. You can be Superman, you know?
Right. Okay. So, okay. So,
One John 4 and Joseph the carpenter, we've come to the conclusion that you don't believe Joseph, right? It's almost like a deadbeat stepfather.
not even that. Not even that.
Okay, yeah, okay. Just non-existent, not even real.
Right.
Just married, and the Quran says like they tried to set her up with a husband, but like that's
Well, here again, you're appealing to the Bible to try to like shoehorn it into like the beliefs of Islam.
when you say I'm appealing to the Bible to shoehorn it, that's the semantics you use. But you gotta understand that I started with a I got to fill these holes, and through the grace of Allah.
Okay. I don't know what happened. Nura, wink, wink. But this will be my final say. Wow. Okay. Logos is not in any way, shape, or form qualified to speak on Islam, and I'll even do the Christians a favor. Logos is not qualified to even speak on Christianity. Simple as that. So I would have to agree with Islamic Apex on this, that if he holds to that position, his shahada is null. 100% null. It's nullified. What was Logos' position? Bro, this guy Logos is like unhinged. Like genuinely unhinged. I quoted this guy a hadith Qudsi, and he said he rejected it. Khalas. You want to reject it? Go ahead. His username is like Logos VR7 or something like that. Excuse me. So, in this instance, again, I would agree with Islamic Apex. He made the right call. And the guy's shahada, is no. So, what I will say though is, you have to understand that there is people like Logos out there, right? And there is, fortunately and unfortunately, the people are accepting. People are accepting Islam on his panel, right? But he's giving them a watered down heretical version of Islam, and we don't condone that, nor do we align with it, nor do we back it. So I'm gonna stick to Enes made the right call here. That's it. By the way, we have evidence that Logos is actually an undercover Christian. What's the evidence? It's pretty compelling, bro. Mods, unmute Alley Cat, inshallah. Mods, unmute Alley Cat. Alhamdulillah, brate, kako si ti? Bro, wallah, I'm so hungry. It's not even funny. Baklava jeste, baklava. Okay, guys, so we have 270 people here. Let's try to get the live goal real quick. As I've stated earlier, we're trying to raise the money to get a new camera for the street dawah. So literally anybody that's gifting, anyone that's willing to donate on PayPal or Cash App, comment the number 1. I'll put the Cash App and the PayPal on the screen. The new camera is like $700 brand new. Technically it's like $1,000, but I could put up the other $300 on my end. So that's literally all we need. We have a way to get to New York. We have a place to stay in New York. The only thing that I don't have right now is a camera that's built for the thing I needed to be doing. So if anybody wants to donate for the sake of Allah, I'll put it up for a few seconds, inshallah. I think we can get 5 people, inshallah, to support. What do you guys think? Comment the number 1 if you think we can get 5 people to support to help us get a new camera. What do you guys think? Can we get 5 people? You guys think so? All right. Oh, why is it cut off like that? That's weird. Let me see here. What am I doing, man? What is this? Here we go. Okay, I figured it out. There we go. Can you guys see this on the screen? You guys see this on the screen? The PayPal, the Cash App, and all that. You guys see it? Alright, boom. So guys, we're trying to get the Sony ZV-E10. That's literally the camera we need. Like I said, it's $1,000 brand new, but I'll put up the $300 on my end. So who's gonna be the first
to show some support. Who's going to be the first one? Got 237 people, guys. Mostly Muslims. Let's see who's going to be the first one, man. Because if you watch, like, if you go and watch some of the content from the Street Dawah, it's blurry, it's choppy, there's too much noise. Alhamdulillah, we have the mics, we have a place to stay, we have a way to get there. Like, literally, wallah, everything is good except for the camera. That's it. So if anybody wants to help with that, this is the way to do it. Why do you need to beg from your followers? Am I begging anyone? Am I forcing anyone to do anything they don't want to do? The only people begging is literally Sam Shamoon telling people that he won't minister unless you pay him $6,000 a week. That's the only person that's begging, my guy. And we have our first person. Everyone comment W Ajit. A-G-E-T. Everyone comment W Ajit. We have the first brother. Barakallah fiqh. May Allah bless you. May Allah accept it from you. May Allah accept it from me. Allahumma ameen. So right now we're short $675. Let's get it, guys. Wallah, bro, we can make it happen quick.